Hello and welcome to Chatting with the Angels. My name is Miss Pearl and we are so happy to be here today. We have the awesome pleasure of chatting with a breast health pioneer. She is a trailblazer and she has served so many people in the community. She is in the person of Janice Workhuff. She's the executive director of Angels Surviving Cancer Incorporated. She's a wife, a mother, a grandmother, and she has a fur baby. Her fur baby's name is Angel. We are so excited to have her today because today is National Women's Day, right? It's so awesome to have her today and be able to chat with her. Please welcome Janice Workhuff.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pearl. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Indeed. I have been anticipating this interview with you. And so we're going to jump right in.
Okay.
I want to start off with your life before your breast cancer diagnosis.
Oh, yeah.
Let's chat a little bit about that.
Wow, I've been a survivor for so long. So my life before breast cancer, I was born and raised in Kansas City, Missouri, both my parents, and I am 7 of 8 children. I have seven of us. And I always wanted to be a nurse. My mother was a nurse, and she had so much compassion and love, and she would come home with that all the time. So after high school, I went and got certified as a certified nursing assistant, and I worked in the field of that. Then I got certified in medical assistant, and I worked in that.
Great.
And then I moved to Houston. And I wanted to go ahead and pursue the nursing career, but I was working for a cardiologist that had a machine. And I said, "What kind of machine is that?" And he said, "An ultrasound. And you want to learn it?" And I said, "Absolutely." So he sent me to learn the ultrasound machine, ultrasound of the heart, echocardiography.
Right.
And I learned that, and that's the career that took off in the medical field. And so I did that after moving to Houston. And then my heart's desire, God would always give you a heart's desire,
Indeed.
was to work in the Texas Heart Institute with Dr. Denton Cooley, the late Dr. Denton Cooley. And so he gave me the heart's desire. I got a chance to get into the career, was taking a peak with echocardiography. And so I got into Texas Heart Institute with Dr. Denton Cooley, was a supervisor, was working with research and watching hearts, open heart surgeries, things like that. And then that's when my life took a change. That's when I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Wow.
Yeah.
But isn't it amazing how you achieved you got those certifications?
Yeah.
All of that led up to that journey. So it feels like it was preparing you, right?
Yeah.
For that journey.
Yeah.
And then tell me, where are you from?
I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. That's
it.
the home of the Super Bowl champions. I just want to throw that in.
Did you hear that? Okay.
Super Bowl champions.
All right, we will let you have it.
Okay, thank you.
We'll let you have that.
Okay.
Amazing. All right, so your background is extensive in working around, in the medical field and achieving those certifications, which is awesome. And I'm sure you were able to take that into your breast health journey, the knowledge that you gained, right?
Yes.
So then breast cancer shows up.
Yeah.
Tell me about that journey.
Well, that was wrestling with my son. He was 5 years old at the time.
Wow.
And we were just, how you kind of kid with the kids, and his hand landed on my chest. And when I caught my chest, I noticed something was there.
Wow.
I hadn't noticed it before. I didn't have any problems with my breast, anything like that. So I knew that something was different. So automatically I'm aware something is going on. So I automatically go and I see about it. I had a mammogram, and it came back that it was suspicious, but we'll watch it. In 6 months, we'll come back.
Right.
Well, again, being in the medical field, 6 months didn't sit real well, and I was working for a surgeon also, and he said, "Well, let's do an incision biopsy," which they actually take the lump out and they test it and see if it's cancer. Incision biopsy, just for my comfort and your comfort, because you're 32 years old, you're young. You're doing good. peak of your career, everything's going great. I just don't think it's cancer, but for your comfort, let's go ahead and do it.
Right.
And so we did do it. And when the diagnosis came back as a stage 1 in situ, I was really devastated. I didn't know anybody that had breast cancer. I didn't nobody in the family. It was just really, really devastating for me. And at that time, we didn't have Mr. Google, so I had a really good friend, Jennifer. Her and I really went to the library and we researched, we looked at it. But I still think that I worked on emotions.
Yes,
I worked on emotions a lot, and so I had a modified radical mastectomy where they take the breast but they leave the muscle so you can have a reconstruction of it. So I had that. But if I knew then what I know now, I just would have had a lumpectomy. But I had that done. And then 3 months after the surgery, I woke up and I had a redness in my chest. I had a burning. And I'm back at the doctor again. And this time he did an incisional biopsy in his office. And it was a reoccurrence of the breast cancer in my chest wall.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's really started. Because the first time I didn't have to have chemo or radiation margins, everything was clear. But the second time when I was diagnosed, they hit me pretty hard with the drugs of Cytoxin, Adriamycin, and 5-FU. So those were some hard drugs at the time, and took me all the way down. My parents came from Kansas City to help take care of me. My husband, my friends, everybody just rallied around me and was able to help me to get back up on my feet. But then after that, I had radiation. And so it was a tough journey, but I thank God 36 years later, I'm here to spread the word and be able to talk about that.
Indeed. And you do not look like what you have been through.
Thank you.
At all. Oh my gosh, you are fabulous. You look beautiful. So thank you so much for sharing that, because you were diagnosed as a young lady, young survivor. And did that fuel the fire in you to become an advocate, to start working in breast health?
It did. I think when I was sick one day, when I was very, very sick, I threw up so much, I was just dry heaving.
Yes.
And when I was laying there and I was praying, and the Lord seemed like he just said to me, this is not unto death. This is going to be for you to help so many ladies. I didn't know anybody that looked like me. I didn't know anybody that didn't look like me that had been through breast cancer. So I felt all alone. Right. So I wanted to be an advocate for the ladies, to be able to help them, to be able to get through the journey, to make sure that they're getting the information they need in a timely manner to make decisions. So I wanted to do that. When I get up from here, I'm going to make sure that I'm helping and I'm giving back, to these ladies, be able to help them.
Yes. Yeah. Tell me this, Ms. Janice, were there any organizations up and running that offered support to breast cancer survivors?
There was American Cancer Society, Reach to Recovery.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where my journey first started, Reach to Recovery. And then there was another group called Love You One Another. Wow. So I got with those two groups, but they were nothing like it is now.
Yes. Yes. Were there any organizations where you could go and feel comfortable and connect with women that look like you, or perhaps even had a similar background as yours?
There wasn't at that time. And so that's what made me, decide to really, go out and try to help as much as I could the women that look like me.
Right. Yeah. And I feel that is really very, very important.
Yeah.
And it's not that other organizations cannot assist us,
right,
but it really is comforting to connect with women that look like us. They may have a similar path as us. Right. And even if our paths don't intersect in other ways, we are breast cancer survivors, and so we're connected for life. Right.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. So I want to move into Angel Surviving Cancer, where you humbly lead there as the executive director.
Yes.
I did my homework, and I noticed that you all have several programs where you offer services to the community and to breast cancer survivors.
Right.
One of those programs, it's called Angel Surviving Cancer, the Janice Workhuff Care Legacy Program. Trying to say that 5 times.
Yeah.
Quick.
The Care Legacy Program. Yeah.
It is the Janice Workhuff Care Legacy Program. Tell us a little bit about that program, how it came about, and what does CARE stand for?
Yeah, CARE stands for Cancer Awareness Resource Encouragement Program. I had to think of it myself, the program.
Yes.
And the legacy part, we voted that in a couple of years ago because we definitely want that to carry on. And with that program, how it was birthed was when I was going through breast cancer, someone paid all of our utilities for us. And that just took such a burden off of me, and I could focus on health and healing. And so we have an idea who did that, a friend of ours. We have an idea who did that, but that was really good. And so that's what we focus on now, is when we get the calls from the lady to make sure we meet their basic needs so they can focus on their treatments, focus on how they're going to move forward, focus on education, whatever else they need to do for health and healing. And so that's a real important program, and I want that program to be able to carry on.
For sure. Now, the angel that took care of your utility bills, how long did they pay that for?
They paid it for a year.
Wow.
Yeah, we went down trying to pay because it wasn't like online and stuff then.
Right.
And they kept telling us it was paid. So we left it alone, and we just thank God for the people that were in our lives. Yeah.
Yes. So that makes sense to me that you would want to give back to people and relieve the stress of their daily living, right? Because just because a person receives a cancer diagnosis does not mean that their daily living stops.
That's right. That's right.
Their bills continue to come in, and we can't call them and say, "Oh, I have a breast cancer diagnosis. Can you pause this bill?"
Yeah,
that does
still
not.
Don't turn the lights out.
Indeed, they will. They will. So, tell us a little bit about that process, right? When you connect with a newly diagnosed survivor, what do they have to do to receive your services?
Yeah, they have to send in a form, and we don't give any money funds to that particular recipient. They have to send in the bill, and we can pay the bill. We can pay the copay. We can give them other resources if we don't have it. We're not real big, but we try to help as much as we can. But they have to send in the verification form that they are diagnosed with breast cancer, and then they have to send in the information so that we can take care of it for them.
Awesome. I also, in my research, found that as you do have certifications, and you are a certified patient navigator, you're also a certified community health worker. Yes? That is awesome, because you need that training in order to be able to relate and talk to the patient. Your spirit is very calming, and your voice is very calming. And so that paired with the training that you have, also, I think, assists you with the bedside manner of working with these patients, right? That is awesome. So tell me a little bit about like what you have done in supporting, like personally. Have you gone to the doctor with some of the patients? Tell me a little bit about that.
That part I really like. I think that's me. That's my passion there, is to when they call, to be able to go to the doctor with them. And now they have teleconference calling. And so to be able to get on there with their doctors and make sure they understand the medication or the treatment that the doctor's going to give them, make sure they're making a decision in a timely manner. And then we have advisory board that if I don't know, I can say, well, let me have the advisory board read your pathology report and get back with you. We're trying to make sure that they're getting through this system and they're treated just like everybody else is treated. I'm also certified in hospice care.
Awesome.
And I really love that. I think the end of life ought to be very special. And so to be able to go and be with the family, get called to the bedside, to be able to pray with that family and give comfort to the person that may be transitioning, I think that's very important. So those areas there I really enjoy. I think that's my passion, is that.
Indeed. That's awesome. Now, you mentioned your advisory board. Tell me, who did they consist of? Who's on the advisory board?
We have a oncologist, which is great, Dr. Tiffany Avery, and then we have Dr. Jacqueline Jones McKinney. She is a clinical psychologist. We have Dr. Kelly, I can't think of her name.
Dempsey.
Dempsey.
I
Yeah,
did my
Kelly
homework.
Dempsey. Yeah, she's a breast health surgeon. And then we have Dr. Taria Richmond. She's a whole health doctor,
Yes.
women's health doctor.
Yes,
She
yes,
is.
yes.
And then we have Dr. Chandra Higginbotham. She's an OBGYN.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's
wow.
a great combination.
Yes.
And they are so awesome.
I think that's a robust advisory.
Yeah. And these are African American
committee.
women, except for Dr. Dempsey is a Caucasian, but she loves us and she's really good. Yeah, they're all
That is
good.
wonderful.
Yeah.
That is wonderful to have such rich support
Yeah.
in many different areas, right?
Yeah. And Dr. Kadita Lewis, she's not on the board, but she's a pathologist.
Right.
But we can always reach out to her. So
And
God,
that's
great
important.
surrounding us to be able to help us with these ladies.
Yes, that is very, very important. I'm happy to hear about that. You also have a program that is called Halo that speaks to younger survivors, ages 20 to 45, I believe. Tell us a little bit about that program.
That program, though, I'm excited about that because that's kind of in the age group I was when I was diagnosed.
Yes.
And so Halo means Healed Angels Living On. And so we're trying to really get that group pumped up. We're trying to meet them where they are, you know, trying to let them do programs that they like. If they like the spa, if they like podcasts, if they like in the park meeting, you know, they don't have to meet in a building like us. So, and that's not only the survivors, that's also guardian angels. And guardian angels are kind of like volunteers that support angels. Like say, you know, they'll say my sister was diagnosed and I have a passion for it. So we also let the guardian angels come and be a part of angels. And so with this Halo group, we're hoping that this group is getting ready to really take off and really be able to help each other and get each other through. A lot of them have children.
Yes.
Yeah, school-age children.
That is great. That is great because at any age and stage where one receives a cancer diagnosis, it is daunting to say the least. But if it is a young survivor, right? Let's say she has children, she doesn't have children, she's married, she's not married.
Right.
She could be climbing the corporate ladder, or maybe she has a high school level education. Maybe she doesn't. It doesn't matter. Breast cancer or a cancer diagnosis is daunting.
It is.
It is. And so I think that this is such a great idea to focus on the young age group because they face different barriers.
They do.
They face different challenges.
Yeah, they do.
Right? And so that's an awesome program.
That's a good program.
It really, really, really is.
Yeah.
I also, in doing my homework, I noticed that you all have several big events coming up this year.
Yes.
One being you have Bowling for the Cure. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yes. And then you have your annual prayer breakfast, right? And this year you'll be celebrating 10 years?
10 years. Our 10th prayer breakfast.
That is great.
Yeah,
that is great.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the bowling event that's coming up. That's coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, that's coming up Sunday, March 24th. That program supports the scholarship program. Awesome. And what we do with the scholarship program, we honor students, high school students that's in pursuit to a higher learning. They can go to college or wherever they decide to go. It doesn't have to be college. And so that have lost their mother to breast cancer or their mother's going through breast cancer in their senior year. And that's been a great program the last 10 years. Those students have been just a blessing to us. And so we actually get a chance to see them, actually get a chance to talk to them. And then they send their information in of the high school they're graduating from, the college, or the certification that they're going for, different things like that.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, the prayer breakfast that's coming up, right? I understand that this also is a fundraiser, right?
It is.
And what does the prayer breakfast support, and who do you serve from the prayer breakfast?
The prayer breakfast, that's an awesome that's an awesome fundraiser event, and that supports the CARE program.
Got it.
That supports the Janice Workhuff legacy care program that supports that.
Mm-hmm.
And at that particular breakfast, we honor women going through breast cancer with school-age children. We give them a monetary gift, and we ask that they go do something with their children that they hadn't been able to do when they were going through treatments, because the treatments you're so sick, or you just fatigued, you just don't feel like being bothered with them or something like that. If it's just a movie in the backyard or popcorn night or, you know, something like that, we ask that they use the money to do that. And we actually bring them into the prayer breakfast. They have a little 5-second video that that we put up, which is very good, so people can actually see them. And we bring them into the prayer breakfast. And so this is our 10th year for the prayer breakfast, and it's an awesome event. And this year, our speaker will be Pastor Mia Wright with Fountain of Praise. And then our psalmist will be Vashawn Mitchell. And so that's going to be an awesome, awesome event. We have vendors. Our theme this year is Pink and Pearl. It's June the 22nd at the Hilton Greens Point area. So we're really excited about this prayer breakfast this year. It's coming together.
I am excited about that. That is definitely going to be awesome. Now, we want to share with our audience how they can follow you, how they can connect with Angels Surviving Cancer. We want to definitely let them know, because there may be someone listening who is a newly diagnosed survivor, someone who is a young survivor. We definitely would like for them to get the information so they can connect to Angels Surviving Cancer. So let us know.
Yeah, they can connect on our website at angelsurvivingcancer.org, or they can call on our phone at 281-912-5195. That's our website, angelsurvivingcancer.org, or our phone number is 281-912-5195.
That's awesome. Now, I also noticed that you all are on all social media platforms, right? All right. So you guys are on Facebook, Angel Surviving Cancer. All right. What about Instagram?
All of it's Angel Surviving. It's Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook is Angel Surviving. And Twitter, I think it's X now. It's Twitter.
Right.
Change that.
So we definitely want you all to follow, like, subscribe, share. We want you all to share this with a friend, share it with a loved one, share it with a neighbor, a colleague, a co-worker. Breast cancer has touched all of us in some way, even if it has not been directly. Right? We know of someone who knows someone. Yes? And so I want to tell you, thank you so much. It has been such a pleasure chatting with you. We have to do this again.
We will.
We have to do this again. Thank you all so much for joining us today on Chatting with the Angels. It's Miss Pearl. Be well.